I hear you're going to a party tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to a party tonight. Would you like to come along? There'll be 1 million laughs.
Will we have a good time?
I will. We're going to play kissing games.
I don't like kissing.
Why?
It breeds germs.
Come on, lady. Let's get sick.
Have you played kissing games before?
Sure. The last part I was through, we played a game called Play or Pay.
How do you play it?
Well, they blindfold the boy, and he reaches out for the girls. The first one he catches either has to give him a kiss or her handkerchief.
How did you make it?
Oh, this'll kill you. I came home with a tablecloth. Professor, pass the gravy. Yesterday I heard a lover sigh. Goodbye, oh me, oh my. 7 times he got aboard his train. And 7 times he hurried back to kiss his love again and whisper, toot-toot-tootsie, goodbye. Toot-toot-tootsie, don't cry. The little choo-choo train that takes me away from you. No words can tell how sad it makes me. Kiss me, tootie, and then do it over again. Watch for the mail, I'll never fail. And if you don't get a letter, then you'll know I'm in jail. Don't cry, Tootie, don't cry. Goodbye, Tootsie, goodbye. Swing it, baby.
Hey there, I'm Mike Gillett, your host, and this is episode 5 of the Soundscape series of When Radio Ruled. This podcast is a montage of sound from old-time radio shows broadcast from March 4 to May 27th, 1936, featuring Fred Allen, Jack Benny, Lee McBain, David I. Walsh, Matthew Wall, Ralph Roby, Herman H. Lynn, Ralph Barsotti, news reports, Your Hit Parade, and much more. This soundscape montage was developed as part of the research phase of the When Radio Ruled podcast about the year 1936. These excerpts are offered without commentary for your entertainment and education. So here are voices from 1936. Voices sadly now silenced. Great performers living again because you're listening now.
Thank you very much, Miss McCoy.
Good morning. I'd like to pay my income tax.
What did I tell you, Miss Livingston? Well, sir, this is the place. What's your name?
Johnny Green.
Occupation?
Orchestra leader.
Mm-hmm. Were you born in this country?
No, what orchestra leader was?
Now, Mr. Green, what was your gross income for 1935?
$325,842.09.
I see. And what was your net?
$12.
I suppose you took everything off that you're entitled to.
Everything but my shirt.
Oh.
And it won't be long now.
Did you have any bad investments last year, Mr. Green?
Yes, I bet on Max Fair to beat Joe Louis.
Any dependents?
Max Fair.
Oh, Miss Livingston, what does he owe us so far?
85 cents.
Oh, fine. I'll pay it.
Just a minute now. Are you married? You know, you're allowed $2,500 for a wife.
If I had one, I'd sell.
I see.
Well, here's your 85 cents.
Oh, it's such a small amount, I'll toss you things. Double or nothing.
All right.
Heads.
Tails, you lose.
Well, it isn't the first time the government took it on the chin. Goodbye.
So long.
Well, sir, they laughed when I walked into the masquerade as a Welsh rabbit. They didn't know I was the head cheese. If it... I guess it isn't thoroughly understood yet. If it isn't Portland.
Yes, I had to come out to buy Papa 4 pairs of shoes, so I thought I'd stop in.
4 pairs of shoes? Don't tell me Papa's grown 2 feet since I saw him last.
No, he says if this elevator strike lasts, he's going to need plenty of shoes.
Say, the elevator is getting serious, isn't it?
I'll say, Mae West has had to change her slogan.
On account of the elevator strike?
Yeah. She used to say, come up and see me sometime.
What's she saying now?
Stay there. I'll be right down.
Hello again. This is Jack Benny coming to you from Washington, D.C., and only 1 mile from the White House. Think of it, Don, just 1 mile from the White House.
Well, what's so wonderful about that?
That's closer than Al Smith ever got.
You're right.
This certainly is a great town, Don. Every place you go, you meet senators, congressmen, diplomats, statesmen.
Jell-O salesman.
I knew that, yes.
Say, Jack, have you been to the Smithsonian Institute yet?
Why, Don, where else do you think I got my jokes for tonight?
Maybe you're right.
We are living in a great country, a country where every man is free and equal, where we can do as we please. And I am the one man who's going to take advantage of it.
I am asked in this announcement to include the statement that President Roosevelt today issued a proclamation urging prompt and generous contributions by all to the American Red Cross for a $3 million relief fund needed in the present crisis caused by flood conditions. Contributions should be made to your local Red Cross chapter or to the national headquarters in Washington, D.C. The President's proclamation of a $3 million relief fund for the victim of the floods. Send your contributions to the Red Cross. Whenever there is a serious crisis and the basic law restrains us from hasty action, there are always some who want to change the law. Others are thankful that the restraints are there, holding us in check. And the Supreme Court has come to be the final authority as to just what the Constitution means. At the present time, we are in the midst of one of our often repeated public agitations of the question, does the Supreme Court have too much power?
But voiding laws of Congress is not an everyday episode in the life of the Supreme Court. Indeed, down to the reign of the President Roosevelt, only 60-odd laws of Congress had been held void in our entire history. And the great majority of these were of trivial significance. In all, only a scant 10 or a dozen were of first-rate importance. Suddenly, the New Deal crop of laws changed all this. The pace of the court was vastly quickened. 5 important laws have been destroyed by the court in the last 14 months. And unless all signs fail, the end of the slaughter is certainly not yet.
Whenever a law which has aroused sharp differences of opinion is declared invalid by the Supreme Court, criticism of the court and the power it exercises has invariably followed. Neither the present criticisms of the court nor the suggested remedies are new. They have been made in the past and will be made in the future by dissatisfied groups, whether Democrats or Republicans, wets or dries, progressives or conservatives, communists or socialists. We must have a Supreme Court to check and restrain the executive and the Congress from performing acts or passing laws in excess of their powers. Furthermore, the express powers granted them must be exercised by them subject to the express prohibitions found in the Constitution, and there are many of them. Seems to me that this conclusion is irresistible. Namely, that the Supreme Court is necessary to prevent the invasion of rights of the individual and the enforcement of laws adopted by Congress that the Constitution expressly forbids. The founders of our government knew what they wanted and exactly what they were doing when the Constitution was adopted. It expressed their philosophy of government and their moral concept of the inalienable rights of mankind. They were duly mindful of the tyranny and oppression experienced by the peoples of the world under other forms of government. They were determined above everything else that tyranny and dictatorship should not exist in a free country. If tyranny was attempted, a judicial review by a limited number of men sitting as a court was provided to protect the people and the state from a despotic central control. Indeed, the founders set up every human device to protect that court, namely life tenure, fixed salary, removal from political bias and participation in political contests, and a close scrutiny by the Senate of the United States of the ability and personal integrity of a judge before he could assume his exalted office. Furthermore, before entering upon their duties, the justices must take a solemn oath before God to support and defend the Constitution and protect the people's rights under it. Well, our forefathers drafted this provision of the Constitution. By law and by custom, these judges are removed, as far as it is humanly possible, from all influences in performing their official duties. They are immune from public clamor and from the selfish, greedy, and lobbying influences which it seems impossible to eradicate in their efforts to shape the acts of the executive and legislative branches of our government, state and federal. The Supreme Court, in my judgment, was established as a barrier against the necessity of revolution. If either the executive or the legislative branch attempted to take these rights from the people, this, the Supreme Court, in my opinion, is the fortress, the arsenal, the standing army of the American people in the protection and enforcement of the inalienable rights which lovers of liberty in every civilized land poured out their blood and treasure to enjoy.
Here they come, Old King Cole. What was that you called for, Old King Cole?
I called for me pipe, me bowl, and me radio, Marlin. It's town hall tonight.
Little Bo Peep. Aren't you sad now that you've lost your sheep, Little Bo Peep?
I don't care about my dirty old sheep. I still got my radio, and it's town hall tonight.
Jack Sprat.
What happens after you lick your platter clean, Mr. Sprat?
If it's Wednesday, I turn on my radio, lady. It's town hall tonight.
Papa sent me out to get some snuff, so I thought I'd stop in.
What does Papa want with a box of snuff?
He owes the man next door 3 sneezes, and he wants to pay him back.
That's silly. How can anyone owe sneezes?
Well, the man next door stutters. And Papa sneezed this morning, and before the man could stop stuttering, he had said Gesundheit 4 times.
I get it, and Papa still owes him 3 sneezes.
That's it. Say, we're kind of mixed up here tonight, aren't we?
Yes, I thought it would be better if I started things off with a bang.
Bang, as in thud? Now listen, Portland, you're getting way ahead of yourself, aren't you?
Well, that's what colleges are teaching today, to look ahead.
What colleges?
Well, at Princeton, the students want their bonus now, in case they have to go to war later.
I suppose the freshmen will want their diplomas this June in case they graduate 4 years from now.
Gosh, everything is mixed up these days, isn't it?
There's too much efficiency, that's the whole trouble. Everything is wrapped in cellophane.
The times are certainly changing, all right. I read that out west people are eating crows.
What do they do if they want light meat?
I don't know. The flowers are crazy about Miss Timken.
Dear me, yes. You should see my Ivy follow me around the room. I carry a little water in my hand to coax it.
Yes, I know just how you feel. I had a bee, Roger, I was quite fond of once upon a time. I always kept a little pollen in my vest pocket. He'd fly in, the little winged tyke, and help himself.
What happened to your bee, Mr. Allen?
Well, one day I put the pollen in my back pocket, and woe betide, Roger went too far.
Yes, you can trust a flower, but a bee will get you in the end.
I'll say.
Mr. Roby, I'm sorry to interrupt at this time, but other stations are joining us at this point. This program is coming to you from Town Hall, New York.
To realize that the strength of organized labor in Germany and in Italy is what really caused the dictatorships there.
The strength of organized labor in Germany caused the dictatorships there. So, what do you think about that?
The strength of the German trade union movement made for the establishment of the Republic of Germany. I dare say that it was the influence of communism which gave ground for the development of Nazism. And that is for the destruction of the liberties of the German trade workers.
What are they giving you on the radio today?
All right, what are they giving us?
Well, we'll show you, Mr. Pickapart. You ready, Casper?
You bet.
Well, first they always announce the comedian like this. Joe Dokes is on the air. Here he comes, folks, with a little green hat and a mop handle cane. And then the comedian starts. I got a frog in my throat, folks. Here comes the bull.
Gosh, that's radio, all right.
Yeah, I'll say it is. All you hear is laughing and applauding, and nobody knows what's going on.
Then you should be a great success.
Something tells me Mr. Fogg is going a long way.
Me too, and there's nothing like getting an early start. Scram, boys. So long, Portland.
Tally ho!
Do you go to school over in Corona?
No, I don't go to school now.
You don't go to school, huh?
I'm studying music.
Oh, you're studying music exclusively?
Yes, sir.
Singing?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, that's fine.
Singing, dancing, and piano.
Oh, naturally, you couldn't squeeze school in. You know, it isn't a bad idea. It isn't a bad idea, you know, these days to get all of the education you possibly can have so that you won't grow up and be like me. You should stay in school as long as you can, and then later on you can sing and dance and whistle and do the other things as you get a little older. It's nice to start early, though, but not to devote all of your time to it. Well, what would you like to sing tonight, Michael?
There Goes My Heart.
There Goes My Heart, and you're only 16? Well, all right. You go right ahead. Something tells me you're fooling, Michael, but you go right ahead. If it isn't Portland.
Yes, Papa sent me out to see who got elected. so I thought I'd stop in.
Well, didn't Papa get the returns over the radio?
Not yet. Our radio's pretty slow.
What's going on your radio tonight?
Mr. Lemke is still speaking from South Dakota.
That's fine. You ought to be getting the Yale-Dartmouth game any day now.
Oh, we know what's going on, all right.
You do, huh? What's hot in the way of news?
Well, the Baby Derby just finished up in Toronto, didn't it?
That's right. The contestants are grounding the stork for the winter.
It's going to be pretty hard on those families that lose, don't you think?
Oh, yes. It's pretty tough to lose, when you're left holding a full house.
Well, that's life, I guess.
What's life?
The world is a grindstone, and life is your nose.
But don't... The world is a... Don't tell me that you're going in for pessimism.
Oh, you don't have to drag religion into it.
Now, look, Wes, the times are changing, Portland. You have to adjust yourself. The world is speeding up. Life today is a mad race. Things move much faster today.
I thought something like that was going on.
You did, huh? What made you suspect that things are getting faster?
Well, I've only had this wristwatch a week, and it's gained an hour already.
Fine. Now, if you'll speed up, if you...
Oh, no, you don't. Elmer! Mr. Wow!
Well, a wow wouldn't help on the program right about now.
Coming, kids. Take a leg, Elmer. I'm right on your heels like the General Spurs, boss.
Now, just a minute, fellas. If you two boys are calling on Simone, the girls are out.
Get a small helping of this broken-down MC, Elmer. A very small helping. Just a nibble will do me, boss.
Do your relatives know where you boys are?
Yes, why?
In approximately 2 shakes of a lamb's appendage, your immediate families will be dickering with the neighborhood embalmer.
Now, don't start anything, Mr. Allen.
I'm trying to hold my temper, but I may have to put on another man.
Hey, if I start on you, yokel, there won't be no part-time job. You get it, Humpty?
Listen, what do you mean, Humpty? Listen, I'm apt to take your lower lip and pull it up over your scalp like a beret.
How will you hold it down in the back, Mr. Allen?
I'll tuck his lip down into his collar.
Yeah, well, you do, and you're going to hear plenty of conversation coming out of my back buttonhole. Yeah, plenty of back talk, eh, Chief?
Now, look, Portland, what do these 2 lost stooges want?
Tell him who you are, Mr. Wow.
Why, brother, you are now in conference with Seabold Wow, radio author and gagman to His Majesty the Masses. Right, and we got business with you, buddy.
I don't need an author for radio.
That isn't the consensus, Mr. Allen.
Look, I've been checking up on your programs, brother. You're working along the wrong line. Yeah, a comedian is supposed to make people laugh.
I've heard people chuckling at Mr. Allen.
What chuckling? When I create for a comedian, he lays him in the aisles, right, Elmer? It's murder, boss.
Maybe you ought to let Mr. Wow give you some jokes, Mr. Allen.
Well,
but I don't bother with no titters and giggles. My gags are buffolas.
What's a buffola? One of those things on the other side of a nickel?
No, elucidate, boss. Folks, a buffola is a laugh that starts rolling around in the pit of your stomach. It rumbles up through your chest, popping buttons off your vest, and finally explodes in your mouth, blowing out your front teeth.
That's gastritis.
It sounds pretty strenuous for humor, Mr. Wow.
Now, wait a minute, you fellas. I've been in radio for 4 years.
And you ain't got a buffola yet. Why? Because you ain't using my radio technique.
What's wrong with Mr. Allen's technique, Mr. Wow?
He's trying to be sophisticated. He's ignoring the studio audience. Why, certainly you don't think these folks sitting around radio studios come in to get out of the rain. They want action. Right.
Action?
Yeah, action. Ain't you ever heard them howls the other comedians get?
What howls?
Let them have it, Elmer. Okay. Here comes Eddie wearing a suit made out of sponges. What are you doing wearing them sponges, Eddie? If it rains, I got a swell suit. Wow!
Maybe you want to try Mr. Wow's technique, Mr. Allen.
Well, if you think it'll help the program.
Why, you'll be a sensation. Here, Portland, read this gag. Here's the answer for you, Alan.
Now, you're sure this is a buffola?
And how? Give out, Porty.
Question. What has 2 fins and flies?
Answer. A dead fish. That's the buffola. All I heard was plenty of nothing.
Why? Why? Because you ignored the boss's technique. Oh, I forgot to tell you, there's a false nose goes with that joke. Here.
What do I do with this?
When you get to the finish, slip on the nose. Yeah, try it again.
Okay, go ahead, Portland.
What has two fins and flies?
A dead fish.
What did I say? A bumbola. You'll be the talk of radio. Here, try another joke. Yeah, slip this on over your face when you finish, Alan.
Oh, I get the idea of it now.
Okay, Porty.
What's the best way to raise corned beef and cabbage?
On a dumb waiter.
Oh, gee, that joke was rotten, but that false face is a treat, Mr. Allen.
Oh, boy, you're killing me. You see, buddy, that's my technique. As long as you got funny clothes, you're wearing a false face, you're a panic on the radio.
Well, what about the people listening at home?
They're playing bridge anyway. Who cares?
Have you got another big glass so that Mr. Allen can finish?
Have I? Get a load of this super buffola. Take it away, Porty.
I'm ready.
Now, what do I do this time?
Just tell the gag and wink. Yeah, I'll do the rest. Let it go, girlie.
All right. My uncle was a high liver, but it finally killed him.
I know. His liver got so high it put out his light. Hey, who? Wait a minute. I'm going down for the third time in this seltzer here. Who squirted that seltzer in my face?
Well, that's your big radio finish, son.
Yes, and this is your finish, too. And you, Portland.
I know. Tally-ho.
Now from Baltimore also, Miss Helen Allison. How are you tonight, Miss Allison?
I'm very well, thank you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And you are an impersonator?
That's right.
You are, huh? Do you impersonate birds and woodchucks and things like that, or?
Oh, no, comedians.
Oh, comedians, huh? Well, what comedians do you impersonate?
Well, I impersonate a Mr. Allen. Do you
Oh.
get around a little, I thought maybe...
Oh,
you might
Mr.
know.
Allen. On days when I'm not myself, I run across him occasionally. Do you impersonate me?
I make an attempt at it.
Do you? And just me, or do you do Portland, too?
I do Portland also.
Oh, that. How did you decide, of all the people in the world, how did you decide to select us?
Well, I always admired your style of acting.
Well, that's swell.
Well,
I want to get your name and address. People often ask me if we have a fan, and I just sort of fuss around and don't have much to say. But I'm going to ask you to go right ahead. I know you don't want me to butt in here. You just go right ahead and do what you'd like to do.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before booting the drop kick of fun, I'll read you the town hall bulletin for tonight. Hodge White, plain and fancy grocer.
Mr. Allen? Mr. Allen?
Quiet, please. If that's Pocahontas paging John Smith, I'll paddle your little canoe if I come down there. Hello? Well, sir, they left when I left Maine. They didn't know Portland would follow through. I'll say, and I'm here to sell you a magazine. A magazine? Yes, I'm working Papa's way through college. Oh, I get it. Papa wants to become a G-man. Well, not exactly. Papa's willing to start at Z and work his way up. He'll get as far as X marks the spot. Run along, I'm busy. Is that nice? Don't be shy. Buy something. Oh, give me liberty or give me death. I haven't got those, but I'll give you a True Detective. That's on it. Goodbye, Portland. Tally-ho.
That was Miss Helen Allison. Thank you, Helen. I hope Portland and I don't get fired, you know. Brings you a Scotch epic entitled Sandy's Crime. Or actors may be dead from the neck up, but Scotsmen are killed from the waist down. Overture, Peter.
No less an authority than Henry Ford himself predicts that automobiles will be made entirely by machines. I am not here to argue that the labor-saving machine is the cause of the Depression. I am only here to contend that enough work can be taken away from labor-saving machines to provide 11 million jobs and thus wipe out unemployment and the colossal waste of the dole and restore courage, hope, and happiness to 22 million suffering hearts.
We are gratified at your overwhelming response to our peace contest. What do you think should be the planks incorporated in the political party platforms to secure peace for the United States? Your 1,000-word letter submitted to us before May 1st may bring you to New York as guest speaker on this topic. Judges for the contest will be Mrs. Carrie Chapman Cass, Dr. Walter Van Kirk, Executive Director of the National Peace Conference, and Chancellor Harry W. Chase, Chairman of the Radio Advisory Committee of the League for Political Education.
Albany, New York. State Liquor Authority, checking recent questionnaire, finds that just as many people are drinking today, but drinkers are more moderate. Town Hall News shows great difference in drinking before and after Prohibition. During Prohibition, the scene, a speakeasy.
Yeah? What's on your mind, buddy? I'm a friend of Wendell Taub's. That don't mean nothing here, buddy. I was in the other night, remember? I was drinking a straight alky with the Worcestershire Chasers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't recognize you standing up. Come on in, bud.
All right. What's your poison, Elmer?
Give me a shot of that hillbilly vinegar, bartender.
Straight corn?
Yeah. Leave the fusel oil on it.
Okay, here you are, brother.
Okay, smoky.
Whoopee!
Give me another shot.
Just help yourself, buddy. When you fall down, it's $2.
Well, it won't be long now.
You're a man of your word, buddy. Get up off of that floor.
My legs went down into my stockings.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, Tim.
Take $2 off of that stiff and throw him out.
Okay. Here's the dough. Come on, you're going bye-bye, chump.
Throw me out feet first, will you, Steve? I got my new hat on.
Okay. Out you go.
But the same drinker today, say the questionnaires, is more moderate. The scene, a present-day tavern.
So long, bartender.
So long, sis.
Hey, drinking's a lot different these days, ain't it, Tim?
You're the bouncer, you ought to know.
I ain't bouncing nothing around here but rubber checks.
Yeah, and I ain't serving nothing but sissy drinks. People is getting more moderate.
Hey, here comes that lush. He used to come into the Speak, remember?
Do I? He's the only old-time barfly left. Moderation ain't worrying him.
Hiya, boys. Give me a turpentine float.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Oh, well.
What's the matter? Was there something wrong, buddy?
No, my stung-up just came up into my neck. It's trying to get away from that booze. Give me another.
Okay.
Make this a double-header.
Help yourself, buddy.
Bottoms up.
He's true, Tim. Out cold in 3 drinks.
Yeah, it's that moderation. He used to make it in 2.
Peter Van Steeden and the Ipana Troubadours have just played. I'm going to clap my hands. But next week, who knows what they'll do next week?
I know.
You'll pardon the natural inquisitiveness on my part, my gaily voiced friend, but who are you?
I am Swami McStula, the great fortune teller. I know the past, the present, and the future. I can even tell you what you'll be doing 40 years from now.
Say, just to know that I'll be able to do anything 40 years from now is something.
And as for your friend here, well, just let me show you. Relax, Mr. Von Zell.
Oh, no, I really don't want to know anything about
go ahead, Harry. Be sociable. Relax. You're among friends.
That is better. Now, Mr. Von Zell, your mind is a blank.
He's got something there, Harry.
Please. Now I'm getting the picture. It is getting clearer. It is the year 1976. You are in a large hall. You are speaking to the world over a radio. You are saying...
Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the 40th anniversary of the first word I ever spoke for Salapatica. And today, more people than ever before have it in their homes. Because Salapatica is the mineral salt laxative that does two important things, not just one. It removes waste from the body, and it also combats acidity. Two things that usually make you feel logy and out of sorts. So whenever you are feeling under the weather, just put 2 teaspoonfuls of Salapatica in a glass of water and drink it.
You really think you'll be saying that 40 years from now, Harry?
Well, why not, Fred? We've already remembered it for 40 years. Why shouldn't we always remember Sal Hepatica for the smile of health?
Miss Chet.
Yes, sir.
This letter isn't sealed. Whose work is this?
It's number 10. That's Mr. Bemis. Colwell Bemis, sir.
Bemis. Let me see. Oh, yes, Bemis. Bemis is 10th Vice President in charge of envelope licking, isn't he?
Yes.
Well, get him in here at once.
I'll ring his office.
Oh, Bemis is my ace envelope licker, Mr. Spread. He generally does 2 men's work. He drools.
A valuable man.
He's one of my liquid assets.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank those of you here at Town Hall for the generous applause you've given our amateurs. And we'd like to thank all of you everywhere for the wholehearted applause you're giving our program. The applause you show in a concrete way by remembering to use the 2 products that make these evenings with Fred Allen possible. Ipana toothpaste for your smile of beauty. Sal Hepatica for your smile of health. Ipana, Sal Hepatica. Thank you very much, Peter. I see Fred has the results ready.
Yes, Harry. Ladies and gentlemen, the applause meter divulges that your applause has been heaviest for these 2 acts, Bill Baker and John A. Elmer and family. Now, I'm going to ask Harry to hold his hand over the heads of this boy and gentleman, as I call the names, and I'm going to ask you to kindly applaud just once more, if you will, and select your winners for first and second prizes. Now, first, the young man from Salt Lake City who played the Hungarian march so well on the piano, Bill Baker. And then the goodwill emissary from Bridgeton, New Jersey, here advising us that they're celebrating their 250th anniversary with his delightful family, the one-man's family, I might say, orchestra, John A. Elmer. First prize, $50 in cash, and a week's engagement at the Roxy Theater in New York City goes to John A. Elmer and family. And incidentally, Mr. Elmer, you have received the highest rating ever recorded on our decibel machine, 101. I guess the machine went up as far as it could go, and there was applause left over, but we've never had that until tonight. And the second prize, $25 in cash, goes to Bill Baker, the pianist. Thank you. I'm sorry that we all couldn't win, but thank you all for coming, and better luck next time. Saying good night, ladies and gentlemen, and inviting you to join us next Wednesday evening at the Old Town Hall at 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Saving Time. Good night.
Let's face the music and dance heard on this program is from Follow the Fleet. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, fools rush in when the curtain rises on the mighty Allen Art Players. This little company first introduced dimmed footlights to the American theater to stop the audiences from reading newspapers while the shows were going on. Tonight, these dynamic dullards present another epic of big business. It's called The Slogan. Oh, the milk of human kindness is seldom grade A. Overture, Peter.
Mammoth Milk Company. Mr. Allen, he's busy at the filing cabinet. He's filing his nails. Yes, under N. Well, I'll see. Oh, Mr. Allen.
Yes, Miss Day?
The editor of the Times-Star calling.
Oh, yes, it's all hustle and bustle, isn't it? Hello. Yes, now here, that $10,000 slogan contest I've been running in your paper, call it off. I'm winning the contest myself. Yes, I thought up the snappiest milk line yet. A perfect slogan. Get this. Milk from happy heifers. Okay, send the reporter right over. I'll release the story. Goodbye.
Gee, that's a swell slogan, Mr. Allen.
Mammoth, the milk from happy heifers. I'll start the biggest upswing the milk business has seen since the cow jumped over the moon.
Mr. Smith is here to see you.
Don't be so indefinite, Miss Take. There are Smiths and Smiths.
This one's from that advertising agency.
Oh, yes. Beaten, batten, gherkin, and humdrum. Show him in.
Yes, sir.
Well, take a chair, Mr. Smith. I'm a very busy man.
Well, now, what's on your mind, Mr. Allen?
I'm launching an advertising campaign that will make this country cow-conscious, Mr. Smith. The cow is man's best friend, and I'm going to prove it.
Yes, well, now, most of the big firms are using slogans.
What slogans?
Oh, like, have you got icebox nerves? Get a lift with a hot foot. Then there's that laundry catch line, not a cuff in a bundle.
Why, my slogan will make these others sound like double talk, Smith.
Why, what is it?
Mammoth, the milk from happy heifers.
A classic, Mr. Allen.
Okay, now we have something in common. I can see that. Now, I want this slogan in every newspaper and magazine in this country if it costs me $500,000.
You bet. You can depend on Beaten, Batten, Gherkin, and Humdrum, Allen.
If the four of them will only buy our milk, I'm off to a flying start.
Yes, you're off, all right. So long.
Go to town, Smith. Miss Tate.
Yes, sir?
Call Baby Leroy in Hollywood. Tell him I want a testimonial in baby talk. Something like, quote, oogie, oogie, happy heifers, unquote. He'll get the idea.
Yes, sir. The president of the broadcasting company's here.
On foot? Well, show him in. Come right in, Mr. Static.
What's this about your radio program, Allen?
Mammoth is going on the air for 52 weeks, Static. I've got to make my slogan, Milk from Happy Heifers, a household word.
Check, Allen. Milk from Happy Heifers is better than that mattress slogan. Good to the last flop.
Right. Now, about my radio program.
It's shaping in my mind right now.
It's going to be futuristic.
The program opens with a cow's moo. That's it. Then the band plays Let Yourself Go. Right. And then bang into a 20-minute commercial.
Can we get a bottle from Phil Baker?
Bottle and milk, a wonderful tie-up.
Money's no object, Static. You can, I'll go the limit. You can throw in a hillbilly.
Oh, no. The billy brings in the goat angle. It's a dangerous cross-reference.
In the milk game, you know, you've got to hold the cow for a long pull.
You said a handful, Allen. I'll audition some cows for the program right away. So long.
Goodbye, Static.
There's some newspaper woman waiting, Mr. A.
Oh, these conferences are lapping over. But that's big business, isn't it? Show her in.
Yes, sir. I'm Sophie Scribble from the Times-Star, Mr. Allen.
Oh, yes. You're here to see me about my new slogan.
Yes. What is it?
Milk from Happy Heifers. How do you like it?
Great.
Yes. Milk from Happy Heifer sums up my life's work, Miss Scribble. I've got 20,000 cows working for me, and I demand happiness in every stall.
Ideal.
Every cow is my personal guest. The barns are air-conditioned. Their hay is turned down for them every night. We have band concerts back of the barn every Sunday, with Stokowski informal in overalls. And this year, my 100% cows are attending a special preview of green pastures.
Wonderful.
Am I talking too fast?
No, I'm condensing it.
Fine. Every one of my cows is happy. The Miss Scribble, they're milked by men wearing silk gloves with pussy willow palms. And every hour, my efficiency men check on their moves.
Marvelous.
Now, look here. Here's the chart for 11 o'clock. Number 53, napping. 54, grinning. 55, chuckling. And so on, etc., down the line.
What's that number 62? It says no emotion.
62. Oh, yes. That's an English cow. No sense of humor. Gives a special thin milk for tea.
Milk from Happy Heifers. It's a great story.
My slogan's 100%, and my word's as good as my milk. I've been selling milk 30 years, Miss Scribble, and I've never had a complaint. Oh, here. What's this infernal din, Miss Kay?
Why, one of your drivers, Mr. Crane.
One of my driver? Have I only one driver left? 20,000 cows and one driver. What's going on?
Mr. Allen, this Mr. Crane says he's got to see you. It's important.
What's wrong?
A pint of milk has been returned.
What? Why don't somebody tell me? Where's that driver?
Right here, sir.
What is this?
Mrs. Grimm, 902 East 57th, returned this pint, sir. She says it's sour.
You're lying, Cringe.
Honest, Mr. Allen, look.
Well, it's all curdled on top. Looks sour to me.
Sour. If this gets out, I'm ruined. I've signed contracts for $1 million, guaranteeing milk from Happy Heifers. And one dirty double-crossing cow makes my slogan worthless.
Can't you check up on the cow?
Which cow is it? I'm a bundle of nerves here. Look at the name on that label.
It's number 76, Isabel.
Is a mistake. Get Isabel in here right away.
Yes.
And send for Watson.
Yes, sir. Who's Watson?
Watson's my psychoanalyst. He psychoanalyzes the cows every morning.
What will I tell Mrs. Grimm?
Tell her there's a milk-omaniac at large. Tell her this fiend was double-crossed by a baby years ago, and he's putting vinegar in people's milk to get even.
Yes, sir.
Oh, if Isabel lets me down, milk from Happy Heifers isn't worth a farthing.
Here's Mr. Watson and Isabel, sir.
Oh, yes. Which one is Watson?
This is me, without the horn.
Oh, without the horn.
Quiet, Isabel. That's girl. Now, what's wrong, Mr. Allen?
Isabel's wrong, Watson. Taste that milk. It's sour.
Hmm? Yes, there is a dash of melancholy there.
Oh, Freud was throw up his hands over a cup of milk like that. Isabel's sulking has ruined my slogan, Watson. I want her examined thoroughly. Fluoroscope and stethoscope.
Yes, sir. Sit down, Isabel.
No. No. Not there, Isabel. Sit here on my desk.
I'll start with the stethoscope. Inhale, Isabel. I'll try her reflexes. Stand back, I'll hit her knee.
Golly, her leg flew back like a pump handle.
Quiet. Say Isabel.
Well, what's the verdict, Watson?
Well, physically, Isabel's perfect.
Maybe it's something mental.
Let me see her chart.
It's right here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she was an excellent spirits at roll call, mood in her bath, ate a hearty breakfast, playful being pasteurized.
Oh, what could have upset her?
Did anyone speak sharply within her hearing?
No, everything was normal. I had the sign up, quiet, cows giving.
Did she fidget getting milk?
No, she just stood looking out of the window, lost in thought.
That's it.
What's it?
Looking out of the window, Isabel must have seen something that upset her. Some horrible thing that caused melancholia to tincture her milk.
But I was there with her all of the time.
What was going on outside of that window, Watson? Speak up, man.
Well, there was a shooting gallery across the street.
Yeah?
That's right. They're tearing it down to make a parking space.
Tearing it down, that's all I wanted to know. Miss Tate?
Yes, sir?
Call up and buy that property.
If I can put that shooting gallery back up, my slogan, milk from happy heifers, is saved.
I don't understand, sir.
How could tearing down a shooting gallery upset Isabel?
Isabel misses those targets, Miss Scribble. She's been flirting with the bull's eye. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present an imitator, Mr. Ray Janis from Brooklyn. Mr. Janis is on his way to the microphone now in high.
Hello, Mike. Hold your seats. Nobody's making a dive for this cigar. Ladies and gentlemen, those who sneaked in. Mary Pete again, and those who sneaked in. I guess that covers me up. Any questions, any answers, any rags, any bones, any bottles? Come on, let's have some action on here. Who'll take 75? Who'll take 76? Who'll take 1776? That's the spirit, 1776. I gotta date one of the Siamese twins. Hope she can get away.
First imitation was Groucho Marx. I should have said that before. I'm sorry, Mr. Janis.
That's okay, Mr. Allen.
And now, who do you impersonate next?
The fire chief, Edwin.
The fire chief, Edwin, huh? You all ready to do that
Yes.
now? You're not related to Elsie Janis by any chance, are you?
The grip. Hardly, I thought it was grammatically, Mr. Allen. Well, we all make mistakes. That's why they put rubber bands around hospitals.
I was surprised to see Ed in the fire hat. You know, he's become Gulliver lately. You'll have to sort of switch that around. Now, what is your next?
The last is the deadpan of the screen, Ned Sparks.
Ned Sparks. You all ready for Mr. Sparks? You won't break any fire laws here, will you, with Mr. Sparks? You all right?
Well, what are you all gaping at? Say, what is life anyway? You're here today and you're drunk tomorrow. Well, when you gotta go, you gotta go. Tally ho.
Thank you very much. That was Ray Janis, ladies and gentlemen. The effects of some of the impersonations were lost. The facial resemblances were really excellent, and it's too bad that we couldn't see them over the microphone.
The Duce has told them that the war is over. And now they will go back to their homes, and they will realize that in 7 months, Italy has accomplished one of the greatest military feats known in history. You hear now the band in the square playing, and the people are still calling him, and the balcony is still lighted, and he will appear again. Yes, he has just appeared at this moment, standing on the balcony, this lonely figure of a man who has led 44 millions to this colossal victory in spite of sanctions, in spite of the hostility of the world.
Papa sent me out to get the paper. He's reading about those quadruplets over in Passaic.
Oh, quadruplets are getting pretty common these days. There are 3 a dozen.
That's what Papa says.
Papa says what?
Papa says if you hear a man yelling force, you don't know whether he's playing golf or his wife just had quadruplets.
You know, I hear that over in Jersey now, the baby doctors are traveling around in gangs, just in case.
Papa's ready. He's working on a quadruplet baby carriage. It has a trailer.
Gee, that's a swell idea, a baby carriage with a trailer, huh? How does he account for the epidemic of quads?
He says it's just the stork trying to show he can fly as many people as the Hindenburg.
Well, I had my grandmother sang in several languages. She was Irish, and she used to sing Spanish songs. And the neighbors used to say that she would sing these Spanish camallas. They used to say they could hear the castanet in her voice.
They didn't know that it was my grandmother's false teeth he bought through his tail. Well,
Lucky Strike presents Your Hit Parade, the 15 most popular songs in America this week, played by Al Goodman and the Lucky Strike Orchestra. Each week, Lucky Strike checks the sheet music and phonograph records you buy, the tunes you request of principal orchestra leaders, and the melodies that are your favorites over the air. These factors show what songs you like best each week and how they rank in your favor. Then we bring you the top 15 as Your Hit Parade. It's fascinating to watch this ever-changing list of popular melodies. And now there's an added new thrill, your Lucky Strike Sweepstakes, the great national cigarette game in which you have the fun of testing your skill in picking the winning songs in advance. Here's how you do it. Write on a postcard the songs you think will rank first, second, and third next week, and mail the card to us before next Sunday midnight. If you rank them correctly, 1, 2, 3, just like that, we send you absolutely free a regular carton of 200 Lucky Strike cigarettes. There's no entry fee, nothing to buy, and no complicated rules. Many, many, many thousands have joined in the fun, and there are thousands of winners, but we want thousands more. So listen carefully to tonight's program and to next Saturday's. Then mail in your selections before next Sunday midnight. The final compilation of the 15 hit tunes of each week is made at the offices of the American Tobacco Company, 111 Fifth Avenue, New York, on Monday morning. And no one knows what the tunes are and how they will rank until that Monday's tabulation is made. Every race is a race, and there's a carton of Luckies for every single winner. So come in and cash in on your Lucky Strike sweepstakes. We'll tell you more about the sweepstakes later. WEAF, New York. Outstanding hit among passengers aboard the Queen Mary tonight is Love is Like a Cigarette. So reads a radiogram just received from Henry Hall and his orchestra. And America likes this English tune, too, and ranks it 10th in popularity this week.
Thanks for listening to 1936 Part 2, the Soundscapes audio montage series number 5 from When Radio Ruled. I'm Mike Gillett, your host. When Radio Ruled and the Soundscape series are before TV productions. Copyright 2018.